Hey guys, welcome back to MU Sports TV. This is where you get all the news concerning Manchester United and the world of sport at large. You all know that we are in the end game when it comes to the Premier League. I think as far as Manchester United are concerned, that the league is done and dusted. There's a 92% chance United are going to finish in the top three. This is after Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool both play out a draw at Anfield the last game, and United are 6 points uh, above Chelsea, above Aston Villa, who drew against Burnley, also 6 points above Liverpool, and have two games to play. Uh, Only Liverpool can go above United if United lose their games and Liverpool win their games with a higher goal difference. But as it stands, United is going to finish uh, at the third position in the Premier League, with the Champions League confirmed. I think now the attention shift from uh, qualifying the Champions League, and now the board, the Ineos are now the attention now is on the transfers. At the moment, this we are now talking about the transfers. How are we going to improve United? That is and must be a very crucial question, and it needs to be answered as soon as possible. Before that, let's congratulate Marcus Rashford, the former Manchester United Academy graduate, who won his first league title with Barcelona yesterday, scoring a good free kick against the rivals Real Madrid. So I hope Barcelona is going to sign him permanently, because yesterday he said he would wish to stay uh, he wish to stay with Barcelona, and that means good news for United because they need the money. The 30 million euros that was agreed upon his arrival Barcelona last summer. So there's some guaranteed outgoings that's going to happen. That is Anthony is leaving to join Betis. He left already. That is Sancho is leaving on a free transfer. I remember Casemiro is also leaving on a free transfer. Højlund is joining Napoli on a permanent deal. Malacia will leave, as well as Marcus Rashford is also going to leave. That's a wage bill of more than 600,000 per week is going to be cleared this summer. So guys, with Casemiro leaving, it is not a secret anymore that United are going to be in the market searching for a new midfielder. Not just one, not just two, but three. United are believed to be in the market for at least three new midfielders ahead of next season. With Casemiro leaving, Manuel Ugarte has a high chance of leaving as well, because his future at the moment is not guaranteed. And I tell you what, Ugarte is going to leave. So United, I believe that they are in the market to sign at least three new midfielders. I know there are many areas that need strengthening. The fullback section, we have the left wing, but today we are going to be concerned to be talking about the midfield. We are going to be primarily talking about the midfield. Which players should United go for? And when signing players, are they going to use this more of less Summers technique of signing Premier League proven players, or they're going to be signing players from different league? So this is where now headache comes for the board, and also another headache that they need to deal with is the managerial area. At the moment, United doesn't have a permanent manager, with Michael Carrick just an interim manager, and the speculation that he might be given the job in a permanent role or permanent basis. It is not confirmed yet, but United are still looking for a new manager. Rumors has it United are interested in Enrique. I don't know if he's gonna leave PSG now for United. Links with Julian Nagelsmann, links with Danny Raiola, links with Oliver Glasner. You know, so You're still waiting to see what's going to happen when it comes to the United new manager as far as next season is concerned. Because most players will want to wait to see which manager we're going to sign, we're going to have next season in order to accept. So I think the first thing they must do is appointing a new manager as soon as possible before signing players. So that's priority. But we as fans, which midfielders do you think United should go for? United have been linked with numerous midfielders for the past 3 months or so, and we are going to narrow them down to at least 8 or maybe 9, and to tell you which midfielders United um, might sign as far as next season is concerned. So last week it was revealed that United will have at least 140 million pound to spend on midfielders, the three midfielders, and it was said that United will sign three midfielders, a top signing midfielder to replace Casemiro, a midfielder to replace Ugarte, and a third midfielder to act as a backup for the two new midfielders. And with the three new midfielders, adding with Mainu and Bruno Fernandes, United believe that it is going to be a good season as far as next season is concerned. Next season, United are going to play more than 40 games. This season, they have played only 40 games. That's 8 in the Premier League and 2 in the domestic competitions. One in FA against Brighton, one in the Carabao against Grimsby. All because United got knocked out in first game of those two competitions. So players like Anderson, Tchouameni, Tonali, Baleba, Adam Wharton, Mateus Fernandes, Joe Gomez, Ederson of Atalanta, Alex Scott, all these players have been linked to the move to Manchester United. But looking at the possibility of which player does United need, back in the days under Woodward, we just used to sign players to please fans because there are some signings that were really, really unnecessary. And the latest unnecessary signing was Mason Mount. I didn't understand why we signed Mount that season. It was really, really unnecessary because Mount and Bruno Fernandes, they kind of play the same position. So why did you sign Mount and you have Bruno Fernandes? Why didn't you spend that money in signing in a defensive midfielder? United needs a defensive midfielder now that Casemiro is leaving at the end of the season. Same mistake that they did should not repeat itself again. That's why when replacing Casemiro, it should be a like for like replacement. And looking at the midfielders that have been linked to United the past 1 month or so, looking at Elliot Anderson of Nottingham Forest, looking at Tonali of Newcastle. All these two midfielders are not defensive midfielder. They are not naturally defensive midfielders. That means they can't be replacement for Casemiro in that midfield. I know the fans were hyped by their performance of Anderson and Tonali. I tell you what, these players are great. They are really good midfielders and a good addition for any club that will sign them. But I tell you what, when it comes to United, it's supposed to be a priority signing. Yeah, because when you bring in Anderson, when you pair Anderson and Mainu in that midfield, I tell you what, there'll be leak because Mainu and Anderson, they play more like the same. They're like more. They are more like a box to box midfielder. Even though Mainu is kind of slow, but he is not a defensive midfielder. So when you pair Mainu and Anderson, that means you'll force Mainu to act like a DM, which is not. Yeah, and Anderson can't also be a DM because he's not. When you look at Man City this season, games that Rodri have not played, you'll see how their defense is suffering because there's no control in that midfield. But when Roddy plays, even if after coming back from the ACL injury, you still have that command, that midfield. And that is why we need to replace Casemiro. Replacing Casemiro is not like now we are losing a goalkeeper. Let's bring in a striker. You can't replace a striker and a goalkeeper. There's no way you're gonna replace a CM with a CDM, or you can't replace a CDM with a CM. So Casemiro, it needs to be a like for like replacement. And when you're going to replace Casemiro, don't mention Tonali, don't mention Anderson. When you're replacing Casemiro with the midfielders that have been linked with United, you're going to mention Tchouameni or Baleba. So when it comes to replacing Casemiro, guys, let's not talk about Anderson or Tonali. Yesterday, I saw the performance of Mateus Fernandes of West Ham. So when I watch Fernandes of West Ham and I watch Anderson of Forest, there's no difference. Yeah, there's no difference. So why not? Why can't we sign Tchouameni or Baleba to replace Casemiro? Then the third midfielder, Fernandes. Then fourth midfielder, the third midfielder, that is, let's look for somebody like Alex Scott of Bournemouth or maybe Ederson of Atalanta. Come cheap, around 45 million euros at most. With the bargain, it can be even 30. So, Manchester United must replace Casemiro with a defensive midfielder. And now that I've narrowed it to two midfielders to replace Casemiro, Tchouameni or Baleba. I watched Barcelona versus Real Madrid yesterday. I don't understand why our fans are all over Tchouameni. Is it because he's playing for Real Madrid, or is it because he's playing for France? I don't know, but or because we signed Casemiro from Real Madrid, and now if we bring any player from Madrid, he's going to replicate what Casemiro has done for us since his arrival 3-4 years ago. I don't understand the noise over Tchouameni. He's a good player, but with the intensity in the Premier League, I don't think he'll cope. I don't think Tchouameni will cope with the intensity in the Premier League. And for a midfielder to replace Casemiro, I know most of you are going to disagree, but the truth is, Carlos Baleba of Brighton is the midfielder that Manchester United needs to replace Casemiro in that defensive midfield. So after replacing Casemiro with Baleba, the like for like replacement, now you have to sign two more midfielders. Now you have Mateus Fernandes, you have Adam Wharton again, you have the Tonali and the Anderson players. You've already signed with Carlos Baleba. You have Main already and Bruno Fernandes. That's your midfield three already sorted. Now you have to add two more midfielders. There's no way Anderson or Tonali are going to come here. So that means after signing Baleba, no more Anderson and no more Tonali. That leaves you, and also no more Tchouameni. That leaves you with Mateus Fernandes or Adam Wharton. And after signing Carlos Baleba, there's also no Adam Wharton. So the second midfielder United needs to sign is Mateus Fernandes of West Ham. West Ham are going to be relegated. It's gonna be a good news for United. They can sign their left back and also can sign their midfielder. So Baleba, Mateus Fernandes of West Ham are the two midfielders United must prioritize next season, as far as we are concerned. I know we were all over Baleba last season. The way now you are all over Anderson and Tonali, we were all over Baleba last season. Remember that? Yeah, remember last season when United wanted to sign Baleba? Brighton said no. That time we were all over Baleba. Baleba this, Baleba that. Baleba this, Baleba that. We saw the real potential in him. Now that this season now. I think the fact that Brighton didn't allow him to join United, he was kind of upset. And remember, the verbal agreement between Baleba representative and United is still valid until today. So it's up to United now because Baleba wants to join United. It's high time United go for the players that wants to join because we've seen the fruit. Bruno Fernandes, for example, Mateus Cunha now, we've seen the fruit. And having watched Baleba the past 4 games now against Chelsea was really good. He has the potential. He's a very good midfielder. We should stop jumping from one player to another because okay, let's say we don't sign anyone. Let's say Anderson and Tonali doesn't join in the club, and they won't replicate the same performance of the season to next season. There will be no hype from the fans. Let's send Anderson. Let's send Tonali. Look at Adam Wharton. Last season, it was toe to toe with Baleba. And there was a division. Oh, should we go for Wharton or Baleba? Oh, the fans were saying Wharton, the fans were saying Baleba. At the moment now, no more Wharton, no more Baleba. Now we have elevated now to Tchouameni, rather than Anderson and Tonali. The players that we don't really need. We don't really need these two players at the moment. It should be a priority. Priority should be signing a defensive midfielder. If you sign a DM to replace Casemiro and you have the cash and Anderson want to join, come on, bring him on. But first thing first, priority. You must sign a DM. No more mistakes as far as we are concerned. Because if you bring in 3 midfielders, strong midfielders, bring in a left back and a right back, bring in a left winger and a backup striker maybe. That means selling Zagze, selling Mount, selling the Shaw, selling Dalot, selling between Martinez and Delight. If you sell one, you're gonna replace them. Yeah. So United needs to act like a big club that they are. If they are going to challenge the titles, Arsenal is going to win the league not because of a miracle. They have been playing quite well and they deserve to win it. Yeah, so I think the board needs to be serious. First thing first, as I said earlier, appoint a manager, then go for the players that the club needs. Don't just go for the players because they have performed quite well this season. Go for the players that the club really needs. And it's high time United starts clearing the deadwoods, as they say it. If it doesn't work, no need to force it to work. Maybe it can work for them, other teams. Remember, there's a Premier League title to be fought for, the Champions League to be fought for, the Carabao to be fought for, and the FA Cup to be fought for. A club like Manchester United needs to be fighting for every single title or every single trophy they are in. They shouldn't just be there to participate. And tell you what, nowadays the Champions League nowadays is easier. It's much easier to win the Champions League compared to 6-7 years ago. Nowadays it's quite easier to win the Champions League. Just need to have a good structural team. That's why PSG is going on a back-to-back finals, and Arsenal back-to-back semi-finals, and now they're in the finals. Because if you look at Arsenal and PSG, they've maintained their good team. You look at Arsenal last season, PSG last season, they have the same team. They just made some additions. They were strong last season, they made some additions. Now they are stronger. That's why PSG and Arsenal are in the final. It's not a miracle. Just need to have a good structural team, and it doesn't happen by just sitting down and it will happen. You need to have a good hierarchy, a good board. The members needs to do a good research. Sign players that you need. Don't just sign players because they are there to be signed. And remember one thing. This famous quote by Sir Alex Ferguson. He said it. And sometimes when I sit down, I absorb it and say, he really was a genius. He said that attack wins you game, while defense wins you title. Arsenal is going to win a title, at least one, not because of the attack, but because of the defense. The goalkeeper, the defenders, and midfielders. Midfielders are always part of the defense, more so the defensive midfielders. So Arsenal is going to win because of their defense. Attack wins you game, and defense wins you title.